But he's got places to go and people to see,
He's got
man.
a beer in his hand by now.
He's an important.
Under the blinding lights of the NFL, one man dances where others just run. He's loud, he's fearless, and he's impossible to ignore. Travis Kelce isn't just another football player. He's a phenomenon. From the moment he steps onto the field, the energy changes. The crowd roars louder. The cameras tilt his way. And somewhere, a pop superstar is watching too. But behind the swagger and the million-dollar smile lies a story most people never see. The story of a kid who almost threw it all away before he ever caught a pass. A story of second chances, brotherhood, and the thin line between fame and fallout. How did a rebellious teenager from Cleveland rise from suspension and scandal to become one of the most recognizable faces in American culture? How did a tight end from Kansas City turn into a household name, loved by football fans and Taylor Swift's army alike? This is not just a story about touchdowns. It's about transformation, discipline, and destiny. Because sometimes, the hardest battles aren't fought on the field. They're fought within. This is the untold story of Travis Kelce, the man who turned pressure into power. Before the roaring crowds and championship rings, there was just a boy from Cleveland Heights, wild, restless, and full of fire. Travis Michael Kelce was born on October 5, 1989, into a working-class family that lived and breathed competition. His father, Ed, was a steel salesman, tough, disciplined, the kind of man who believed in earning every inch. His mother, Donna, balanced that toughness with warmth and unwavering belief. She didn't just raise sons, she raised fighters. In the Kelce household, love was loud, and so were the arguments. Every day was a contest. Who could run faster, hit harder, yell louder? Especially between Travis and his older brother, Jason. Two boys, one backyard, one mission, to outdo the other. But beneath that brotherly rivalry was a bond forged in sweat and loyalty. Jason was the calm strategist, Travis the explosive spark. Together, they became each other's first opponents and each other's first heroes. School wasn't always easy for Travis. His energy was boundless, his focus fleeting. Teachers called him the class clown. Coaches saw something different, raw potential wrapped in chaos. Football became his outlet, his language, his way to channel the storm inside. But even then, few could imagine that this loud, impulsive kid, the one who pushed every rule and tested every limit, would someday become the heartbeat of America's favorite team. Every legend starts somewhere. His began in Ohio. At the University of Cincinnati, Travis Kelce's fire finally met its test. He wasn't the biggest recruit. He wasn't the cleanest reputation either. His confidence often walked a fine line between charm and trouble, and soon that line vanished. One mistake nearly ended everything. A failed drug test, suspension, the dream gone overnight. For most players, that would have been the end of the story. But for Travis, it became the beginning. When his brother Jason, already a rising star at Cincinnati, stepped in to vouch for him, the coach gave Travis one more chance. One final play before the lights went out, and he didn't waste it. He came back faster, stronger, sharper. That reckless energy turned into fuel. That anger became precision. By senior year, scouts whispered his name. He wasn't just catching passes. He was rewriting plays, defying positions, breaking molds. Then came 2013. The Kansas City Chiefs took a gamble on the kid with the wild streak. Round 3 of the NFL Draft. Not the safest pick, but the boldest one. In his first games, he barely saw the field. Injuries, pressure, whispers of maybe he's not ready. But Travis had spent years fighting back from worse. Every benching felt like a challenge, every doubt like oxygen. By the time his breakout season arrived, the world finally saw what he already knew. He wasn't meant to play it safe. He was meant to change the game. By the mid-2010s, Kansas City wasn't just a football town. It was Kelce territory. Every Sunday, the stadium pulsed with red and white. And somewhere in the chaos, number 87 was turning routine plays into pure theater. With Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback, A new era began. The golden duo of the NFL. Mahomes had the arm. Kelce had the attitude. Together, they were unstoppable. Travis didn't just catch passes. He caught attention. His touchdowns weren't celebrations. They were performances. The way he shouted, danced, and laughed turned every play into a viral moment. He made football fun again, unapologetic, wild, and full of life. Then came the trophies. 8 Pro Bowls, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 championships. And just like that, Travis Kelce became more than a player. He became a symbol, the beating heart of a dynasty. Off the field, his charisma found new arenas. He hosted Saturday Night Live, proving he could command a stage without pads or a helmet. He launched fashion lines, brand deals, and a podcast that became one of the most streamed in America. Fans loved him because he felt real, loud, imperfect, magnetic. And in 2023, everything exploded again. A casual comment about a friendship bracelet turned into a cultural earthquake. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift became the world's favorite headline. Suddenly, the tight end from Cleveland was appearing in tabloids, late-night jokes, and global conversations. But behind the glamour and the spotlight, he remained what he'd always been. A competitor who loved the noise, but lived for the game, because fame was never the finish line for Travis Kelce. It was just another arena to conquer. Success has a way of turning whispers into echoes. And for Travis Kelce, fame didn't just amplify his highlights, it magnified his flaws. As the spotlight grew hotter, so did the criticism. Reporters painted him as too flashy, too arrogant, too distracted. The same fire that made him magnetic on the field now looked reckless off it. In 2016, Kelce stepped into a different kind of arena. Reality TV. Catching Kelce, a dating show that promised romance but delivered ridicule. Critics called it shallow, desperate, a publicity stunt. Fans wondered if the tight end was more interested in cameras than championships. Travis brushed it off. But behind the scenes, the noise was deafening. Every celebration was dissected, every quote twisted. And when emotions flared during games, the shouting, the slamming of helmets, the media labeled him uncontrolled. Then came the era of Taylor Swift, the love story that broke the internet and divided it. To some, he was the charming athlete who dared to shoot his shot with the world's biggest pop star. To others, he became Taylor's boyfriend, a side character in someone else's narrative. Suddenly, every touchdown was romanticized. Every loss turned personal. He was no longer just playing football. He was performing under a microscope. And yet through the noise, he never stopped showing up. Week after week, he trained harder, spoke wiser, played smarter. Because for Travis Kelce, the true challenge wasn't his opponents. It was proving that fame hadn't changed his purpose. The headlines would fade. The tabloids would move on. But greatness, real greatness, doesn't need applause. It just needs persistence. With time, the noise began to fade. And what remained was clarity. Travis Kelce, once known for wild celebrations and late-night headlines, began to evolve. The fire was still there, but it burned differently now. Slower, steadier, focused. He found purpose not just in touchdowns, but in leadership. Inside the locker room, he became the heartbeat of the Chiefs. The veteran who spoke less, but meant more. Younger players sought his advice. Coaches trusted his instincts. He wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was building a legacy. Off the field, another transformation took shape. Together with his brother Jason, he launched the New Heights podcast, an unfiltered window into the life of 2 NFL brothers. Funny, raw, real. It became a cultural phenomenon, bridging the worlds of sports, family, and humor. Fans saw not the showman, but the man, the son, the brother, the friend. Travis also poured energy into charity, mentoring kids, funding youth sports, and using his platform to give back to the same kind of communities he came from. The wild kid from Ohio had become a role model, still confident, still loud, but now grounded in gratitude. In every word and every play, he carried one quiet truth, that redemption doesn't mean erasing the past. It means owning it. and growing stronger because of it. From the chaos of Cleveland to the spotlight of Super Bowls, Travis Kelce's story isn't just about success, it's about transformation. He began as the reckless kid no one could control, and became the legend everyone could count on. He redefined what it means to be an athlete in America. A man who can dominate a field, host a comedy show, and inspire millions without ever pretending to be perfect. In a world obsessed with image, Travis built his brand on authenticity. He failed publicly, loved loudly, and played fearlessly, and somehow through it all, remained entirely himself. To fans, he's a showman. To teammates, a leader. To his brother, a lifelong rival and best friend. And to the world, he's proof that greatness isn't about fitting into a mold. It's about breaking it. Because every touchdown, every headline, every lesson led to one truth. Pressure doesn't break him. It builds him. Travis Kelce's journey reminds us that the hardest hits in life don't define you. How you rise after them does. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from stars and scandals.